Have you ever noticed how something as invisible as breath holds the power to determine whether you are fully alive or barely present? Most people go through life unaware that they are only half breathing, locked into shallow patterns that starve the body of vitality and the soul of expansion. What if the very thing that keeps you alive has been keeping you limited? Breath is not just survival. It is the overlooked bridge between matter and spirit, between thought and silence, between the ordinary and the extraordinary. You are not merely inhaling air. You are drawing in the same force that animates stars, flows through oceans, and sustains consciousness itself. The truth is simple, but the simplicity hides its power. And when you finally uncover it, everything changes. Air is often reduced to a chemical formula: oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide. Yet hidden within it is something far subtler, something science itself cannot ignore: electromagnetism. Every breath carries more than oxygen. It carries a living current of energy, the same force that fuels lightning in the sky and keeps your heart pulsing in rhythm. Breath is the unseen current linking you to existence itself, and the way you use it determines the level of consciousness you can access. When breathing is shallow, this life-giving current barely trickles through you. But when breathing is full and conscious, it becomes a powerful river of energy, washing through the body and expanding awareness far beyond its ordinary limits. Think of your body as a finely tuned battery, constantly requiring recharging. Food and water may keep the physical structure intact, but it is breath that sustains the inner current. Within every inhale lies electromagnetic force, subtle yet powerful enough to animate every cell. Even science offers its confirmation. When liquid oxygen is placed between two magnets, it bends and clings, drawn toward the poles as if magnetized. That reaction is undeniable proof that air holds electromagnetic charge. So when you breathe, you are not simply filling your lungs with gas. You are absorbing life force energy, the very current that powers your aura, sharpens your mind, and elevates your consciousness. Ancient traditions understood this long before laboratories could measure it. In India, sages called it prana. In China, masters referred to it as chi. In Hebrew scriptures, it was Ruach. And in Greek philosophy, Pneuma. Cultures separated by oceans and centuries still pointed to the same truth. Breath is not mere air, but spirit in motion. You are not just breathing to survive. You are breathing to connect with the subtle essence that nourishes both body and mind. Without it, awareness fades into unconsciousness. With it, awareness sharpens, the senses awaken, and the mind begins to resonate at higher frequencies. Your lungs are more than biological organs. They are transformers of consciousness. Each deep inhale draws electromagnetic energy into the bloodstream, carrying it to the brain, where it activates regions long left dormant by shallow breathing. The brain, requiring more oxygen than any other organ, thrives when you breathe fully, rewarding you with clarity, speed, and expanded awareness. At the same time, your electromagnetic field, often called the aura, becomes stronger, brighter, and more coherent. Shallow breathing weakens this field, causing fatigue, mental fog, and disconnection. Deep conscious breathing strengthens it, raising your vibration and opening you to states of consciousness that few ever experience. Every inhale and exhale becomes a choice. Breathe shallowly, and you remain confined within limitation, operating on only a fraction of your potential. Breathe deeply and consciously, and you step into alignment with the hidden science of life itself. Breath is not just a background process that sustains survival. It is the overlooked key to raising your consciousness. In each moment, the power to awaken lies in something as simple, as intimate, and as sacred as the air entering your body. Your state of consciousness and your breathing are reflections of one another. Just as air carries electromagnetic energy into your body, the rhythm and depth of your breath reveal the rhythm and depth of your awareness. When the breath is shallow, hurried, and confined to the upper chest, the mind mirrors that restlessness, scattered, distracted, and bound to lower states of consciousness. When the breath deepens, slowing into a natural rhythm, awareness expands and a profound calm begins to unfold within. The two are inseparable. As the breath flows, so flows the mind, and the level of your consciousness rises or falls with it. Consider the fragile boundary between life and death. When breath ceases, consciousness departs almost immediately. This truth shows how deeply your awareness depends on the presence of breathing. To stop breathing is to stop experiencing, but when breathing is full and conscious, awareness becomes heightened rather than diminished. Every deep inhale charges the nervous system, while every complete exhale clears stagnation and tension, creating inner space for clarity. In this way, conscious breathing is not just a support for life, it is the very anchor of presence, the foundation of your capacity to awaken beyond ordinary limits. Deep breathing transforms the body into a living conduit of energy. As you draw air fully into the belly, electromagnetic force moves down through the spinal column, feeding subtle energy pathways. On the exhale, this current rises upward, reaching the brain and activating dormant regions of awareness. The result is tangible, sharper thought, quicker processing, heightened sensitivity of the senses. Colors appear brighter, sounds become richer, and even intuition sharpens. Consciousness feels amplified, as though a veil has been lifted and you are perceiving reality through a clearer lens. But the transformation is not only mental. Breath calms emotional storms and steadies the nervous system. Anxiety loosens, agitation dissolves, and an inner stillness begins to take hold. Breath reclaims you, reminding you that awareness is not in the past or the future. It is right here, moving in and out of your body in every moment. To ignore this is to remain confined to shallow states of being. To embrace it is to unlock a higher state of consciousness that has been within you all along, waiting to be breathed into life. Sacred traditions have always understood what modern thought is only beginning to rediscover. Breath is the living spirit in motion. In the same way that conscious breathing sharpens the mind and expands awareness, it also serves as the bridge to higher realities. Across cultures, breath has never been seen as mere air. It has always symbolized the divine force that animates all life. Buddha, often portrayed with a rounded belly, embodies this truth. His form is not a symbol of indulgence, but a reminder of deep conscious breathing, the expansion of the belly with each inhale, the fullness of life force flowing through the body. Breath in this way becomes a sacred act, a silent ritual of awakening. Scripture speaks the same language, though many miss its deeper meaning. The Spirit of God has made me, and the breath of the Almighty gives me life. Here, breath and spirit are one and the same. In Hebrew, Greek, and Latin, the word for spirit translates to wind, air, or breath. When Jesus breathed on his disciples and said, "Receive the Holy Spirit," it was not symbolic poetry, but a direct transmission of truth. Divine energy enters through conscious breath. To inhale is to receive spirit. To exhale is to release it back into the world. Every cycle is a communion with the source of consciousness. Even the very sound of breathing carries mystery. Inhale deeply and listen closely. The sound resembles Yah. Exhale fully and notice how it fades into Way. The sacred name Yahweh is not spoken by the lips, but by the act of breathing itself. This ancient recognition reveals that every human being, in every moment of life, unconsciously chants the name of God with every breath. To breathe consciously is to awaken to this truth, to realize that the divine has been flowing through you, hidden in plain sight, since the moment you were born. Symbols like these are not merely ancient stories. They are timeless reminders of the overlooked truth that breath is the pathway to higher states of consciousness. To see breath as sacred is to treat every inhale as a gift of divine energy and every exhale as a release of all that no longer serves. When you breathe with this awareness, you step into alignment with a rhythm older than history itself. A rhythm that connects body to spirit, earth to heaven, and the human to the eternal. Breath is not just life, it is the sacred key to awakening the higher self within you. Knowledge becomes transformation only when it is lived. Symbols and teachings point the way, but the true elevation of consciousness through breath happens in direct experience. To access the hidden power within, one must return to the natural rhythm the body was designed for: full, deep, and conscious breathing. Inhale through the nose, allowing the air to sink into the belly, not just the chest. Feel the abdomen expand outward as life force moves downward. On the exhale, let the belly contract, guiding that same energy upward through the spine and out through the mouth. This simple pattern reconnects you with the deeper currents of being. Conscious breathing is far more than drawing oxygen. It is the act of circulating energy through your system. Each inhale pulls electromagnetic force into the body, while each exhale distributes and refines it. As this current flows, the nervous system strengthens, the brain awakens, and the biofield surrounding you expands. Many notice tingling sensations, warmth, or even a lightheadedness during practice. Rather than a sign of weakness, these sensations are the markers of energy activating, your spirit aligning, your consciousness beginning to vibrate at a higher level. Begin gently. Just a few minutes of complete, deliberate breaths are enough to shift awareness. Inhale until the lungs and belly can hold no more. Then exhale until every last trace of air has been released. Repeat this rhythm, slowly or quickly, depending on your intention. Faster breathing energizes, while slower breathing calms and grounds. Both raise consciousness, but in different ways. One like fire, awakening instantly. The other like water, dissolving thought into stillness. When combined with meditation, this practice becomes even more powerful. Breathing deeply while holding no thought allows the mind to separate from its constant chatter. As awareness anchors in breath, a gateway opens. Higher states of consciousness unfold naturally, not through force, but through surrender to rhythm. What many mistake as mystical visions or altered states are simply the effects of breath aligning body and spirit, silencing the noise so the higher self can speak. It is important, however, not to confine this practice to meditation alone. Conscious breathing should not be reserved for special moments. It is meant to flow into daily life. Each inhale throughout the day is a chance to draw in new life force. Each exhale is an opportunity to release tension, fear, and stagnation. In this way, every breath becomes a meditation, every breath a renewal, every breath a prayer without words. When you breathe this way, you begin to live differently. The body feels stronger, the mind clearer, the heart calmer. More importantly, your consciousness begins to rise, not in theory, but in lived reality. Every inhale charges you with the overlooked energy hidden in plain air, and every exhale elevates you closer to your higher self. Conscious breathing is not a ritual to practice once. It is a way of being, and when embraced fully, it becomes the fastest, most direct path to awakening. Breathing has always been with you, yet only now do you see its true nature. It is not just air moving in and out. It is the overlooked truth, the silent teacher, the current of consciousness itself. Every shallow breath keeps you bound to limitation. Every full, conscious breath lifts you closer to your higher self. To raise your consciousness through breathing is to rediscover your forgotten power. You are not separate from divinity, you breathe it. In every inhale lies life force. In every exhale, release. Through conscious breathing, health, clarity, and spiritual awakening are no longer distant. They are present, here, now, within you. This is how to raise your consciousness through breathing, the overlooked truth that changes everything. If this resonates, You're among kindred minds at Awaken the Deep, where we practice breathing as a way of being and living from clear, grounded awareness.